Take 3. Hey, what's up, G?
Zach G mixed it.
Hey, it's the art of revolution.
Push the masses away from the media. Every day it's a new distraction from what matters to me. And you get the public together to speak in front of the theater with a microphone dangling. Congress tied up and they hearing us like, hey y'all, I'm holding this microphone like a K-Dog. And with this A-y'all, I kick the revolution way off. Today's the day, dog. They ain't like us, I'm quoting K-Dog. I'm from the days of face-to-face conversations like, hey, wait up. The fake is blatant, we ain't the racist. The claim is baseless, they taking face pics. The trade for information, take away your simple basics. The day-to-day Satan worship is taking place. It's your chance to speak your mind and probably your last time. Time is running out, we hustle every day for peace of mind. Cheap and grind, that's what I'm saying when I'm out here getting mine. Get in line, the time to make a difference is not. Push, pull, push, pull. Push out the evil and pull in the truth. I know you got something to say and now's your time to say it, dude. Like push, pull, push, pull. Push out the evil and pull in the truth. I know you got something to say and now's your time to say it, dude. Like.
Welcome to Art of Revolution. We're finna get red pilled a little bit tonight. We only got a short amount of time for this one. I want to give a special shout out to Golden State Paranormal. My brother SOS Mech, go ahead and hit that shit. And then he's the one who did all the music. And what I want to get into real quick is fill us in, man. Let's fill us in on Parler first and then fill us in on what's going on in the world of politics so we can know.
Yeah, certainly, man. So, Parler, dude. Everybody remembers they got wiped off the face of the earth back in 2021. It was 3 weeks after January 6th. They were accused in the media of harboring right-wing extremists and being a haven for misinformation. Of course, we know it was a bunch of BS, and they ended up getting pulled off of Amazon's cloud services. So all that content was wiped out overnight, and they crashed. They went from being, multi-million-dollar app to worth nothing in an instant. So at the time, I believe there was 2 million users on the app. Of course, they were talking about being a free speech platform. Well, they're back. They're rebranding. If you guys have been watching Tucker Carlson, he's been plugging a little bit of promos for him for Parler.
Yeah.
And he's actually coming to Phoenix. I got tickets to go see him and Russell Brand on September 4th here at the Footprint Center. So
I got to get down there and see that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing like 25 stops on his tour right now. So I know this is one of them.
That's crazy, dude. Let's rewind just a little bit. Introduce yourself and go ahead. Now that everybody's on, Parler's coming and it's coming in hot. Go ahead and give us an introduction. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nothing But Redpills on Instagram. You can also catch my main page, Gold Pills with 2 Z's. My name's Angel. I'm a editor for online publication. I'm a professional writer, and I like to discuss politics.
He's got some hip hop skills too. Don't let him lie to y'all. He's got some recording skills too. You got to get that. Them down south boys in the Arizona, Texas, everywhere down there, got some heat for you. Anyway, so what's going on right now? I mean, we got a lot going on. It seems like Catalyst, my buddy Catalyst, is tripping. He thinks that the middle of September, the invasion that we've been having over the last few years is going to get their marching orders. We're watching Trump just dominate after R.F.K. Fill us in on some inside stuff. Hit us.
Yeah. I got inside stuff all day.
I know you do. That's why I'm like, what's up? Let's go.
So I'm going to tell you this. I had a friend who's another influencer on Instagram. She goes live quite a bit. I spoke to her in her DMs about, I think it was August 9th or August 10th. And she asked me, what I thought was going to happen. Obviously, Kamala was gaining a lot of speed. It wasn't so
Mm-hmm.
much that Kamala is exciting, but there's something called the contrast principle. And when you put Kamala side to side by Joe Biden, all of a sudden she becomes very, very exciting. She's energizing. She recharged the whole campaign, and conveniently enough, gave the Democrats the ability to transfer the campaign funds from
Yeah.
Biden to Kamala into the same cabinet. That would not have been possible if somebody else had ran. I had heard them, throwing around the idea of Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom, but you're talking about 100 M's, bro. You're talking about wow. So they
Yeah.
weren't just going to let all that campaign funding go to waste when they had been propping up the corpse called Weekend at Biden's this whole time. So they could transfer that over to Kamala, and then bingo bango. You got yourself a new energized campaign. You got a bunch of funds. You can get out there and get active. What are they doing with those funds, by the way? I've heard multiple influencers being told that they would get paid to make videos where they were supporting Kamala for president,
Yeah.
right?
All
You know,
everywhere.
yeah, this
Twitch
is no
streamers.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, what's that homie's name? Kai Sanat, is it that his name?
That dude's a beast, bro. And he
Yeah.
was getting pissed off, but Twitch is about video gaming, like gaming shit. They don't, come on,
Well, hey,
family.
bro, let's not forget what happened with Gamersgate not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's always some tentacle of the establishment in some facet of our lives, and as soon as anything becomes popular, becomes intertwined with pop culture, they're gonna find a way to weasel into it. So it's no surprise to me if they're trying to get TikTok influencers or gamers. It's just the new Reich, bro. This is the Fourth Reich. The propaganda ministry of Germany in World War II did the exact same thing with film and music. It's nothing different. It's the same old playbook. It's what we're seeing happen. So not
Yeah.
not shocking to me. Um, but there are some recent developments though that I think people should be paying attention to. And I have been in discussions with some people in regards to a few things. So two things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
One, when I was speaking to my influencer friend back on August 10th, she asked me what I thought was going to happen since Kamala was actually getting a lot of excitement in the party, Democrat Party, and she was actually garnering a lot of support. Regardless of her horrible VP choice, to us it was a horrible VP choice, but to progressive liberals, not so much. Um, they seemed a little too excited about tampons in the boys' restroom, and for my taste, but that's all right. That's them. That's not me. I don't drink the blue Kool-Aid. But I'll tell you this, man. When she asked me the question, I said, well, here's what I think is going to happen. I think that there's going to be a huge movement of independence this time around behind Bobby Kennedy's campaign. And then
Yep.
shortly before the election, he's going to drop out of the race and then endorse Trump. And then Trump's going to get a hold of those independent voters who normally get stolen away from the Republicans when an independent
Mm-hmm.
candidate is running. And that's going to give him just enough to push him over the line. And he will win in November by a small margin and be Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, at the moment I told her that, as you know, you stated, I do have insider information. So,
Yes,
it did
we do.
happen. About a week later, it happened.
Yeah.
And I believe that is going to make, if you look at the news cycles right now, there's a lot of news headlines talking about how this upturn for Trump from the Kennedy momentum is going to influence the outcome of the election. And it doesn't look good for Kamala.
If you look at like the points, I mean, watch people like Red Eagle Politics and people like him, so on and so forth, who are really into the politics of every region and who are really knowledgeable. He's talking, I mean, he got 5 to 10% boosts in red states in 2.5 to 7%, I guess. And I'm just kind of taking this from across the board, boosts in even blue states. So, I mean, it's looking like Trump's going to, he's going to take some blue states. And then once they go red, I don't see him going back to blue after this because now they know,
Well,
you know.
there's a couple of things would have to happen for that to be the case. And I wouldn't say they would never go back blue. I want to be hopeful that there's members within the Democrat Party, the National Democrat Party, who
Yeah.
realize the error of their ways, who realize that bowing down to the progressive left is not going to assist them in trying to keep their careers, and maybe they'll get their act together and turn back into those blue dog Democrats that we love so much in the Kennedy legacy. One of
Yeah.
the reasons that I think Bobby Kennedy was more of a not such a distasteful option for like Trump and Kamala to a lot of people is because one, he's not really an outsider, but
Yeah.
we all know what happened to his dad, and we all know what happened to his uncle, and we all know that
Yep.
the government keeps secrets. And I mean, one of the big things a lot of people were excited about was Donald Trump talking about releasing the documents on the JFK assassination. And I will speak to that for just 1 second because he did actually do that. The problem was that the head of the coalition of intelligence agencies in the United
Yeah.
States was
Yep.
someone that he had appointed. What's the guy's name? The gay guy?
I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're
You know
talking
who I'm
about.
talking about. Yeah. He
Yeah.
was like, so he was actually the one that blocked it. I have a good friend, man, my boy Austin. He confronted that guy
Did
in
he?
person. Yeah, he confronted him in person. I wish he had a hot mic. You could barely hear him because there's so much noise at the convention. But he walked
Yeah.
up to him. He confronted him all that. Why did you block the release of information on the JFK assassination when Trump's the one who promised it to the American people and he put you in this position? And the guy's answer was so vague and pathetic. It was just, something along the effects of, oh, they don't need to know what's in there. I read what's in there and it wasn't anything important. Like,
The
sit down, bro.
Democrats whacked him though. I mean, come on, right? The Democrats whacked Kennedy. Well,
Well,
and so
if you ask me, it was collusion
yeah,
between the Democrat and Republican Party, and
uniparty,
there's
which is what it is.
the Uniparty, yeah, the
Yeah,
establishment. You want to know something real interesting? Let me see if you know this. Do you know where George Herbert Walker Bush was when Kennedy was killed?
I do, but he doesn't, does he? He was the CIA. He was the head of the CIA. If you,
Well,
I
yeah,
know where.
when he was
Yeah,
head of the CIA, he was asked this question. He said he didn't remember.
who
Really, the
doesn't
head of
remember?
bro, everyone remembers where they were when Kennedy was shot. George Herbert Walker Bush doesn't remember because conveniently for him, it would
Yeah,
have looked really bad if he said, "Yeah, I remember," because he was in Dallas the day it happened, calling and giving
yep.
fake tips to the FBI.
It was a coup. It was a
Yeah,
political coup, just like I talk about all the time. The Emergency Banking Act, 1933. The war between the states kicked off the coup. The War of 1812 by treaty started the coup. This has been going on for a long ass time, and it's about. I don't care who they are, man. If they're against the establishment like Trump or Robert Kennedy, and I'll tell you, I do not agree with a lot of the shit Robert Kennedy says. I agree with a lot of things that he does, but I mean, think about it. If you're fighting the establishment, if Kamala was battling the establishment, I would be like, you know what, man, I got, I get you, but the people who are a part of it, you can't. I mean, you guys are a part of the destruction of the American way. Fuck you.
yeah. Yeah,
You know,
there's a lot of things I don't agree with Kennedy on, but at the
yeah,
end of the day, I think that the media, being an apparatus of the intelligence agencies, they're very good at mass manipulation, right? Shout out to Edward Bernays because they know how to manipulate the crystallized public opinion, right? And the thing is by doing this through the media, they always want to they want to control the flow
yep,
of the path of the conversation. They want to control the direction of our discourse in this country. And it's always on like four major things mostly, which is like guns, abortion, homosexuals, immigration, things that on by and large voting does not affect. Like
yeah,
by and large, these are things that voting does not or cannot affect. But those are what they want us to have conversations about. Well, the reason why they do that is because if I'm arguing with a Democrat about any of those four things, we're never going to see eye to eye, but we're also
yeah,
never going to see any change from our debate. If I
yep,
were to sit down and talk to them about things we have in common, like our disillusioning to the forever wars in the Middle East, the fact that our government lied about weapons of mass destruction, the media wants to point out to Trump's felonies. Is anyone investigating George W. Bush, for lying
come
and
on
starting
now,
an illegal war and killing over 1 million Iraqis? Like, do we care? Do you care about brown lives? Like, do we care about innocent people? Do we care about, that's the thing is we gotta learn that real revolution starts from the ground up. So we
Yeah.
can't just argue with the neighbor. I can't just argue with the person sitting at my dinner table and then go and vote in the national election thinking if my guy wins and their guys doesn't, something's going to get done. Nothing's going to get done.
Yeah.
What,
Exactly.
what needs to happen is we need to have these conversations with each other about what we do know and what we can change and what does drastically affect our lives. And I don't think that we need this, um, psychotic despots who are warmongers
Yep.
deciding everything down to what our children have for lunch at school or how many vaccines they should take.
Absolutely. Speaking of what you just said, most of us don't even know who our neighbors are. We don't even know their
There you
fucking
go.
names. And that's the insane part. And if you think that, oh, he's got a Kamala sign and I got a Trump sign, now we live across the street from each other and we hate each other, shut the fuck. I mean, this is America, dude. We're Americans. One thing we've been working on here, dude. I mean, I hate to say the word, dude. I don't even know why I say that shit. Anyways, back up. We've been working on some criminal justice stuff. Now,
Yep.
I am far left, I guess you would say, on criminal justice reform, not abolishing the police, but the tyranny of the American state.
Mhm.
Right. And
That's actually far right.
It is.
It's actually far
Well,
right. Yeah. The
you're
farther right,
right.
the farther right you go, the farther you go into autonomy. And if you go full on into autonomy or anarchy, you're far right in the spectrum. And that means that you don't think that the state should be able to decide what anybody who happens to anybody, the death penalty and all that.
See, I don't. I'm. This is a real tricky place for me. What I'm against is the tyranny. And this is something I've been working on here on the show. We've got some things coming out, and our local police have become tyrants. And the Republican Party wants to support some of that tyranny, and that turns me completely off. My Democrat enemy that would live across the street that I don't even know who they are, not saying I have them or anybody, I'm just being hypothetical, is going to hate me, but we agree on something like that. Let's start there. Let's start in our local communities and our towns and get busy. We're worried about this federal election, and really the federal government only has a couple jobs. I know you know what they are, so I'll let you get with it. But what about our local communities? And I mean, that's something that I think we can all agree on and we should start fighting for. And every time I go to anything that has anything to do with criminal justice reform, it's only the far left that's there.
Mhm.
Right. But they're fucking insane.
Yep.
Defund the police, send mental health workers. They're still doing that to this day. Just because you don't see it
Social
on the news
workers,
doesn't
yeah.
mean it's happening. Yeah, it's bullshit. But we also need to get a rein on the tyranny. And I think that the establishment put this tyranny into effect and are allowing it to happen. But how, what do you think? Let me just get your thoughts on that aspect of it. And then,
I mean, I really agree with you a lot on that point, especially of criminal justice reformation. It's something, and more beyond, not just that. I agree with you on the point you made about it being a matter of a local issue, because I'll tell you
yeah,
what, the difference between local and federal government is there's even a larger gap between your local community and the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and other
yeah,
global proxies that make decisions that affect our lives. But this reminds me of the scene in the movie The Patriot when Mel Gibson's character is asked to get involved in the revolution. They said, "We have a tyrant
yep,
ruling us for 3,000 miles away." And his response was, "Why would I trade a tyrant 3,000 miles away for 1,000 tyrants here at home, a
yep.
mile away?" And that's
That's
where
a
we are at.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
go
I
ahead.
couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you, bro. You were cooking when you said that 100%. And I'll tell you right now that the solution, you're dead on. When we start having these, and this is exactly why they have us beefing with each other over things that we cannot control in a federal election,
Yes.
because then it prevents us from meeting in our local communities, which is how the republic was founded in the first place. It was people meeting in bars, people meeting in homes, people meeting in churches, and people meeting in businesses that,
Yeah.
despite all their differences, and people can say whatever they want, but a gang of the forefathers were raging liberals of their time and
Yeah,
had
absolutely.
and they had many disagreements with the other founding fathers. And then
Yes, they
there's
do.
evidence of this. All you have to do is read the letters between the four major players of that time, the quartet, right?
Yep.
Adams, Madison, Washington, and Jefferson. Read the letters these guys were writing to each other. It becomes quickly apparent that I believe that during the drafting of the Bill of Rights, there was probably a lot of whiskey that was being drank, and probably a
Mhm.
couple people got punched in the mouth. And that's how they sorted this out. Like
That's how it's
men.
supposed to be. That's
Yeah.
how it's fucking supposed to be. And I swear to God, you took the thoughts and words and out of my mouth and brain and ran with them. And we're 100% on deck with each other. You know, we're focused on this big giant division. And I'm telling you, every demographic is divided. Color,
Yes.
religion, everything. We're divided along every single line. And
They're dividing men and women, even men
none
and
of
women,
us, yeah,
children
men
and
and women
parents.
too. Yep. Nobody give, and that's biblical, isn't it? What you just said,
Yeah,
children and parents. Oh my God.
it is.
But none of us give a shit about our own community. And this is to me the biggest of all problems is that we're ruled by tyrants for so that we can be basically extorted out of money with under duress with threat of incarceration for stupid shit that's not even crimes. Here, a ticket's a civil infraction. Police aren't supposed to enforce civil laws. First off, second off, they are out hunting for people for financial gain for the state, and none of us give a shit about our own communities. And I think being on the as far as I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, you know, I rock with the Republicans, you know, I mean, because that's the way I feel. But I mean, we got to start focusing on our neighbors, dude. And that's the big thing I think we're missing in
It
this.
is. No, it really is, because we used to have strong communities, and we had strong
Yes.
communities. The government stayed very restricted in its involvement in our communities. The more that we shelter ourselves, hide from what
Yep.
the outside world, stay inside our homes, stay locked in on these devices and these platforms, the more we're just opening up for the government to come and fill the gaps in between us when we used to be the ones handling these types of things in our own community. And
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to say this because what you're talking about was a vision that I had back in 2022 when I ran for state house here in Arizona. And one of the things that I was running on, one of the platforms that I wanted to really drive a lot of conversation towards, was an idea of what I called a local forum policy, meaning that we would develop and encourage and promote a local economic forum, a local forum on health, a local forum on business, a local forum where we get people who are uh, obviously, you know, involved in these conversations, and thought leaders and people involved in these industries. You know, if you're a business owner, you should definitely be part of a local economic forum. And even if you're not, like, even just a consumer, business, the way business is conducted will affect you as a consumer too. Like, everyone should have a say, and we should be open to hearing I open ideas on an open floor. You know, free market of ideas on an open floor, and just letting the best ideas be presented, and then having that readily available, like live streamed and ready available for all of our district representatives to participate in. And then that way you get to see which one of your district representatives, these politicians, actually care, actually give a crap, you know, who want to be involved in the community and hear your voice. Because they always
Yeah.
say, oh, they want to hear your voice, but what they mean is they want your vote so that they can keep campaigning, getting more money every two
Yep.
years or 4 years. If they really want to hear your voice, wouldn't they sit down and listen to you? And there's a huge disconnect there. So the other part of it was having a local economic forum where we could influence the politics and policies of our local communities. Because I personally think that me or you, Tommy,
Yeah.
would make a much better candidate
Yep.
for
Me too.
providing suggestions in our local community than Klaus Schwab, who doesn't even know the name of your town, bro.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I hate this is one thing really quick that that Mel Gibson quote is a perfect example. And it's funny how the guy 3,000 miles away keeps getting further and further and further and further away. We're on the brink of World War III. We have no leader. We got an idiot pretending that Biden didn't resign, pretending
Yep.
she wants that first woman president shit. But let's do this. That platform that you talked about, let's make round 2 an introduction to that. He's got to pick up his child because that's what real men do. They focus on their children and their family first, right? So we're gonna revisit this in an episode 2, and we're gonna talk about this platform because I think the platform that he just laid out for all of you guys is something that you should really take into consideration, because what happens in Washington affects you down the line, but what happens at home affects you now.
Yes.
And that's what we need to change.
And I think that honestly, if we do build stronger local networks and in our local community and vote with much stronger emphasis on local policy and local candidates, that eventually it's going to trickle up. And what happens in Washington isn't going to affect us as bad. You know what I'm saying? Because really, it's the people that are getting voted in here, you know, that are being sent to Washington. And if you have people who are like, I remember watching C-SPAN years ago when I first started getting red pilled, and I remember seeing this old white dude from Texas used to just stand there and just give a tongue lashing to all these dirt bags in office. And I used to get excited, man. I was like, bro, who is this guy? And he wasn't even a jerk about it. It seems like such a nice guy, but he was telling the unadulterated truth. It was very direct. He was very assertive, but you know, he wasn't a scary guy. This little guy, Dr. Ron Paul from the 14th Congressional District of Texas, right? I remember seeing this guy. I was like, bro, who is this guy?
With this. Yeah, keep
bro,
going.
I loved it. I loved watching him just lay them out every single time that he had his time on the floor, bro. He didn't yield back. He would let them have it. And they called him Dr. No. I remember that. He voted no on raising taxes. He voted no on pay raises for the Congress, for the House of Representatives and the Senate. He voted no on wars and all this stuff. And man, something happened. You know, I had the opportunity at an event. Rand Paul was at the same event as me once, and he asked somebody to take a picture with me, and they came and grabbed me, and I went over to him, and when I introduced myself to him, I said, bro, I need you to tell your dad something for me. He said, yeah, sure. What do you want? I said, I want you to let him know that it was him sticking to his guns and him being just relentlessly passionate about, you know, really loving freedom, fighting for freedom, that cured my apathy towards politics. Because up until that point as a young man, I did not care at all what was going on in the White House or anywhere else or any of these politicians. I was one of those people that used to say stupid stuff like, oh, well, it's not, I don't care about that. I'm not into politics. It's dumb and And I used to just partying my life away, and I was an idiot. And but something started happening as I started getting older. And once I hit about 21 years old, 22 years old, and started kind of like looking at politics a little bit deeper, this guy, I was like, oh, there is people in the government who are on our side. And that was an eye opener.
Yeah, it is. It trips me out that you talk about Rand Paul, because he's like a founding father and reincarnated founding father. I mean,
I like the way you put that.
You really listen to him, you know, and it's like a guy from that era where America was founded, who actually was participated in the drawing of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and the Federalist Papers even, and had a real understanding, because it seems like that he was a part of that debate. That's how well versed he is in the initiation of the country. It's fucking crazy. And the fact that they pushed him out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, I think what it is, because you just made me think of this, bro, and it's so profound. I think what it is, bro, is that the Constitution were written by men who were, man, just imagine the turmoil at that time. Just imagine the reality they lived under. And these men were fighting for something very solid, bro. And it caused them to work out this the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in a way that I feel like it's very, and I'm not drawing a direct parallel, but it is very, very similar to the way that the apostles wrote the gospel about Jesus Christ when they realized how important, because up until that point, they were with him, but they didn't realize the importance of it until they all started suffering persecution. When that tribulation came, the realization of how important the message was became apparent to all of them, and they felt, they felt driven to have to write this down and tell everybody. So in the same manner, I think that the men who drafted the Constitution and the founding fathers had this understanding of how important it was that these ideas transcend through time. That, think about it, somebody wrote something in 1776 that me and you today can actually vibe with, bro. It's almost like it's a spiritual document, and there is an actual spirit of 1776, and I think that it possesses the body of Dr. Ron Paul.
I do too. I do too. Anyways, Angel, my brother, go get your daughter, spend time with her. And I'm hoping, if it's cool with you, round 2, let's lay this platform out. Let's lay this local platform out.
Two things real quick, man. I want to do it real soon. I've been very busy these days, and first week, second week of September at the latest, I might have to fly out to South Africa for a month. So I'll be pretty busy. But on September 29th, for anybody who sees this, and for anybody especially if anybody with connections, there's going to be a Rescue the Republic rally in Washington, D.C. You guys are going to, if Joe Rogan agrees to attend, I don't know if he will, that would be really cool. There's a couple, I think Russell Brand is supposed to be coming. I know they're trying to get President Trump to come out there, but right now I know for sure that there's a whole host of comedians and musicians and content creators and politicians, a lot of people, and a lot of them are from various kind of beliefs too, like different walks. They're not all just Republican or whatever. There's a lot of people from all sides of the political spectrum, but they're coming together for a Rescue the Republic rally because of the threat of censorship and the threat of tyranny. So they're starting to people are really starting to wake up, and this is a great uniting rally. It's free to the public. There's James Aldean, I think, is going to be there. Zach Bryant, a lot of stars. There's going to be a lot of music. It's going to be like a really cool event. And then of course Russell Brand will be speaking there. But I encourage everybody to go to Washington, D.C. to this event. They're expecting about 150,000 people. It's going to be on September 29th. Let everybody know. Tickets are free. And you guys will probably be hearing a lot more of it. There's not a lot about it out right now, but trust me, in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot about it dropping in the news, and you'll be hearing some people talking about it on their shows, their podcasts.
Right on. Well, all it takes is just a few, and then the whole world will know. Something like that will blow up overnight. And then you had one more thing to mention. You said you had a couple, or was that it?
Yeah, no, and then no, I think that was it. Yeah, I'm going to be going out of town, so I want to do round 2 as soon as possible with you, and everybody go to Washington, D.C. on the 29th of September.
All right, round 2, Nothing But Red Pills. The big dog Angel, we're going to lay out this platform, and I bet you Democrats and Republicans alike are going to agree. Red, blue doesn't matter. Our communities matter most. Our children and our families matter most. Art of Revolution signing out. Oh.
Take 3. Hey, what's up, G?
Zach G mixed it.
Hey, it's the Art of Revolution.
Push the masses away from the media. Every day it's a new distraction from what matters to me. And you get the public together to speak in front of the theater with a microphone dangling. Congress tied up and they hearing us like, hey y'all, I'm holding this microphone like a K-Dog. And with this AR, I kick the revolution way off. Today's the day, dog. They ain't like us, I'm quoting K-Dog. I'm from the days of face-to-face conversations like, hey, wait up. The fake is blatant, we ain't the racist. The claim is baseless, they taking face pics. The trade for information, take away your simple basics. The day-to-day Satan worship is taking place. It's your chance to speak your mind and probably your last time. Time is running out, we hustle every day for peace of mind. Cheap and grind, that's what I'm saying when I'm out here getting mine. Get in line, the time to make a difference is not. Push, pull, push out the evil and pull in the truth. I know you got something to say, and now's your time to say it, dude. Like push, pull, push out the evil and pull in the truth. I know you got and now's your time to say it, dude. Like, pull it together, get your notes and take a step up. The road to freedom always begins with a single letter. Are we ever gonna take a chance to get a leg up? The time to use your voice is arisen like it's the seventh. The first step is to let the people know you're fed up. The sword is quite mighty, but the pen will stick the neck better. Don't ever settle and constantly question your surroundings. Shit is always going down around you that you can't see. Thomas Sue and the art of revolution. It's time to spark a conversation and shock the institution. Fuck the system like Kama Sutra, propaganda and mass confusion to take away your sight and then leave you blind to honest truth. Give me 2 fingers up a fuck piece, I'ma see a thumb. Middle one raised up higher than your middle son. Little ones paying the price of silence is within us, giving us no time to react like Chernobyl incidents. Ha. Push out the evil and pull in the truth. I know you got something to say and now's your time to say it, dude. Like push, pull, push, pull. Push out the evil and pull in the truth. I know you got something to say and now's your time to say it, dude. Like
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.